What is going on, guys? My name is David, and in today's video we're going to be breaking down the first ever LEGO Ninjago A Day of the Departed trailer that was just revealed yesterday. And this trailer is for the LEGO Ninjago special event that is going to be premiering on October 29th on Cartoon Network at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, as you guys can see in this very first scene, we have the official Ninjago Museum celebrating Day of the Departed, and as you guys can see, it's a nighttime. And they are releasing lanterns up into the sky to commemorate the departed. As Day of the Departed, if you guys didn't already know, it is a special day in Ninjago, and it's a sort of holiday in which all the citizens of Ninjago raise lamps into the sky to remember their departed or the passed away. As you guys can see in the next scene, we have some kind of event or show that's taking place with Dareth on the stage, and he is holding up a lantern, which I assume he is going to release into the air. And we have an entire crowd of Ninjago citizens, and it's just going to be an old, jolly, good time for everybody in Ninjago, or so we thought. Next up, we actually have Lloyd and Masako in some kind of canyon biome, and they are releasing this lantern up into the sky to, of course, commemorate Garmadon. Now, we are assuming that they are located in the Corridor of Elders because it is a canyon type of area, and that is also where they built the statue to commemorate Garmadon when he sacrificed himself in the Anacondri battle in Season 4. Next up, we actually have Kai and Nia, and they are chilling in the 4 Weapons Blacksmith shop that we've seen in many episodes of Ninjago, primarily the pilot episodes for Ninjago. And as you guys can see, they do, of course, have a lantern with a portrait of their father and their mother right next to it. In the next scene, we actually have Zane, who built a snow statue for Dr. Julian in the old woods, where Dr. Julian's first laboratory was located, and Zane has placed a lantern into Dr. Julian's hand to basically symbolize that he still remembers him. We actually have a scene from inside the brand new exhibit, which is going to be compiled of all of these villains of Ninjago's past, and as you guys can see, all the ninja are walking in, with the addition of Masako and Wu, and they're walking into the exhibit with their lanterns. And as you guys can see, there is a little bit of Pythor sticking out towards the bottom right-hand side, and they're just villain statues standing on the walls. And as you guys can see, here's a closer look at Cryptor's statue, Samukai's statue, Master Chen's statue, and Moro's statue. Now, there is some part of the exhibit which is quite interesting that we haven't really seen before, and that is the Sensei Yang exhibit. And unfortunately, there is no statue because he is currently alive, and there is some kind of arrow blade right underneath it, and we're assuming that this is going to be Sensei Yang's main weapon for Day of the Departed. And as you guys can see, it's an artifact that people can look at and observe in the museum. And right above it is a portrait. Well, during the actual trailer, Sensei Yang uses this portrait to communicate with Cole, and he basically tells Cole, close the circle. Now, Cole has no idea what Sensei Yang actually means, and he's quite confused during this scene. And after this scene, we do get a close-up of Ninjago's moon, which is actually closing. So this is kind of inferring that the circle is the moon, and for some reason, they need to close it. Now, nobody really knows why, but at the time of this recording, one can assume that the moon has some kind of significance with the return of all these villains. The next scene actually shows Sensei Yang's temple rising up into the air as it did in Skybound. For our next scene, we still have the Day of the Departed show continuing with a bunch of singers who are actually holding a replica of the Helmet of Shadows, and they're doing some kind of live performance. Well, after this happens, some missiles actually start launching towards the stage, and we do get a scene with a bunch of Anacondri crushers with actual Anacondri soldiers in them, rushing towards Jamanakai village, or possibly the village where Kai's 4 Weapons blacksmith shop was located. In the next scene, we have Jay's Junkyard, or I guess Ed and Edna's Junkyard, with Samukai holding up Edna, and he's about to throw her with, of course, a skeleton or skullkin mech in the background with crazy piloting that. And as you guys can see, there's also that little minivan where Ed and Edna, of course, reside in. Next scene, we actually have a Ninjroid battle between Zane and the Ninjroids, and this is taking place in the old snowy forest where Dr. Julian's first laboratory was. And as you guys can see, there are Ninjroids with jetpacks flying around, with Zane on the attack. And he is, of course, going to be using his elemental ice power to fire back at them and, of course, try to eliminate them because he's trying to remember his father. Next up, we do actually get a scene with Jay using his elemental lightning powers, and he is presumably going to be using this power against Samukai, since we did see him in the last scene holding up Jay's mother. Now in this next scene, we actually get a look at the Ultrasonic Raider with all of its parts separated and the rock rotor lagging behind, with, of course, Zane's titanium tumbler right next to the main part of the Ultra Stealth Raider. Now, as you guys can remember, this is actually a scene from the LEGO Ninjago Day of the Departed sneak peek that we received a couple of weeks ago. And as you guys can see, we have all of the ninja looking through and just ready to attack. Now, this is actually a very interesting scene because this takes place in Yang's Haunted Temple, also known as the Temple of Air Jitsu. And we have Sensei Yang just standing there while Cole is rushing at him with an arrow blade. And he actually strikes Yang with the arrow blade, but he misses. And instead, he hits some kind of vase in the temple. And this vase actually breaks open. And what is very peculiar about this scene is that all of a sudden, after Cole rushes at Yang, misses him, and hits the vase, this green smoke or vapor just leaves the temple, and it kind of infiltrates parts of Ninjago City. Now, as you guys can see, this vapor is leaving the actual temple for Sensei Yang, and it's going into parts of LEGO Ninjago City, and it's going into the museum, and this is where the narrator states that some realms were not meant to be open. Now, I don't really know what this phrase actually means, but I'm assuming it has some kind of reference to the ethereal realm or ethereal realm or something like that. I forgot what it's called, but that's where Sensei Yang's temple floats off to, if you guys remember in the episode Haunted Hill, where in season 5 Possession, the ninja are in the temple, and during the night they actually see that the temple is being transported in some kind of realm, and I believe that this is the realm that should not have been opened. And as you guys can see, there are a bunch of lanterns that are turning this ghostly green, and then we have a transformation of the Moral statue into his ghostly self. And then this is just a really cool picture that I thought was really, really cool. A transformation of Kozu, a very, very close-up image of General Kozu, the Stone Army general, who is transforming into his ghostly form. And then we get the LEGO Ninjago Day of the Departed logo, and right after that we get this little tiny scene with Moro and Wu, and Wu is asking Moro, is it really, really bad? And Moro answers, yes, it's very bad. Now this scene, I don't really know what's taking place in this scene, but I'm assuming that Moro visits Wu, and Wu asks him about what's going on and asking him what's happening, what events are taking place, and Moro tells him that very bad events are taking place. Now, I don't very necessarily think that they are enemies in this particular scene, and I could feel that there's some kind of tenseness against the two characters in this scene, but hopefully, as you guys might have watched a video that I uploaded a couple of days ago, Moro does switch over to the ninja team and does help them in Day of the Departed. So, yeah, guys, this is the actual trailer for Day of the Departed. I kind of did my best to take a couple of screenshots of the trailer and break it down for you all so that you guys can enhance the trailer experience. I'd love for you guys to tell me what you all think about this down in the comment section below. My honest thoughts about the trailer. I think that it's very interesting. Of course, they aren't the best made trailers for the show. I did feel, though, that the first part of the trailer was kind of emotional in my opinion, and the music really made it kind of emotional. And with all of these moments with the ninja honoring their dead, it kind of pulls on your strings, if you know what I'm saying. And so yeah, honestly, I just thought that it was a very, very, very cool trailer, and I am pretty hyped for this season. So please tell me what you guys think about this down in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.